Okay. All right, you're good
Oh,
to
what's
go.
up? Poppin' Top, episode 5. Got my one of my best friends here on the podcast.
One
He's
drink
my
down
fueler
already.
on the 34 truck with Lane Riggs. Patrick Gaddy, welcome aboard, man.
Hey, buddy. It's good to be here.
Heck yeah, man.
What are we drinking?
First time we're doing an in studio appearance. Like
Yeah.
most of these people use their computers or laptops, but I was told you don't have a laptop or a computer at your house. Like you don't even have Wi-Fi, right?
Yeah, I do.
Oh,
I
okay.
do. I mean, in all honesty, I just wanted to come
Hey, I
down.
think he views it as a waste of money. He doesn't really like technology.
I'm
So
kind of old school like that, but I
yeah,
wanted to come down.
he likes to be off the grid.
He comes over to your house and is like, "Oh my gosh, look at all
This
this
is crazy.
technology."
What is this? What is this screen thing?
There's
Yeah.
tech and sim rigs everywhere, and just all
Yeah.
kinds of
I
stuff.
didn't know they make TVs this small.
Yeah,
Yeah,
exactly.
there's no tube in this TV. What's going
Yeah,
on?
it's insane how thin these TVs are these days, kids.
Yeah.
You
Well,
know.
this is called Poppin' Top. So what are you drinking?
Actually, for anybody at home that's watching or whatnot, but this is actually a called Barrel Bourbon. It's by
Oof.
Bardstown and all that up in Kentucky, and I'm a big bourbon guy and enjoy a lot of really good bourbon that comes out these days. Man, it's bourbon's really blown up. It's turned into an even bigger industry than what it already was before, but there's a lot of huge culinary experience now in bourbon versus just the old standby or go to. A lot of bourbon's really catching on, so that's what I've
Mm.
got right now. And then I've got a good old standby Guinness here as well.
Keep the
So
buzz going.
He
yeah,
planned it.
I'm a big bold flavors kind of guy.
Yeah.
So
All right, Owen, what are you drinking?
Well, we had a game night this past weekend, and everyone drank our booze, and then I realized we were out of all the other drinks, so I'm going a little bit wild here, and I just grabbed kind of whatever we had left in the fridge, and I have our apple cider vinegar.
Are
So
you serious? You're drinking
yeah,
apple cider vinegar?
holy cow, man! Oh my God!
oh. Yeah, see, it's still got that cap in it.
Jeez,
Yeah, it's a bit nostalgic. I used to just drink vinegar as a kid, just
He's not
straight
lying. He
up.
used to do that all the time.
man,
Yeah.
that's a very unique palate you got there,
There's a
man.
lot of hair under this shirt, right on my chest.
I would
Yeah,
completely
he's
agree
built
with
like a
that.
Serbian, a
Feel
fully-built Serbian.
at any point in time, feel free to take that off and demonstrate the level of hair that's there,
Oh,
man.
you,
I'll be envious about that, you know.
you would have thought I put my dog on my chest.
I'm good with that, dude. We could probably shave a dog in all that rub there, man. That's good stuff.
So
That's
he's drinking
fantastic.
apple cider vinegar.
Holy crap.
Just straight up.
He's just going for it.
That's like next level manhood when you can handle just chugging a bottle of
It honestly looks like a full.
holy cow, man. That's insane.
It looks like a
You
40.
you probably have the best digestive tract out of anybody that I know, actually.
You know
Dude,
what's
he used to
great is
launch
there
his
was a
farts.
Modelo in the fridge, and I just put it in this.
There
This
you
is
go.
this is just
Yeah,
Modelo.
That's
that's a fantastic
You
idea,
should have ripped the
actually.
label off and told me whatever it was. We would have just ran with it.
No,
This is
it's literally just Modelo.
that's
I just
awesome.
replaced it.
It's probably like sweet tea or something.
It's
He's just
probably
there
good
just
too.
chugging. Like Bojangles sweet tea or something, and he's just chugging. Oh, here we go.
Chug,
Here we
chug,
go.
chug, chug.
Man, oh my God.
He
That's
might not be
insane.
lying. That
That is
might not be
insane.
vinegar. It might
That
have been
is
apple
insanity.
juice.
It's honestly not. It's just Modelo. I had a Modelo in the fridge, and I was like, this would be funny.
Oh
Oh.
God, man. If you would have told me that was actually apple cider vinegar, you would have really
I
impressed.
probably could do it with apple cider vinegar because it's not as vinegary as like white vinegar or red wine. Well, red wine's probably a little bit easier. But I legit used to just drink
Dude,
vinegar as a kid.
we've been recording for 3 minutes. You've already drank your entire drink.
I know. I should probably go find something else.
Oh my
Pro
God.
pro tip, pro tip, apple cider vinegar is fantastic for your digestional tract.
Yeah.
So
I mean, I
uh,
probably do have a great track down there or through there, but
you may have to pause this entire thing and drop anchor. I'm just going to be honest with
I planned beforehand. See, there was apple cider vinegar in there, and for the bit, I drank it off camera
you.
and then replaced it with Modelo.
Nice.
And then I
Chug the whole
realized
bottle there.
I should have chugged all the apple cider on the podcast, and I just sat there in agony. You don't know this, but 5 minutes before we recorded, I was just laying on my kitchen floor, just dying.
Jeez.
But like, what are you drinking?
So I'm trying to Happy Dad.
Oh, okay.
The fruit punch. I actually didn't realize until earlier that these are seltzers. I thought these were beer. But I'm gonna try a Happy Dad tonight. It's the fruit punch. Let you know
Nice.
how it is. So that was a good pop.
I
Oh
Cheers,
didn't
yeah.
hear
man.
it. Yeah,
Cheers to
cheers.
your
Cheers, Owen.
whatever you're
To
drinking
your
or
there
I
you
can
go.
go grab another drink real quick to fit in.
whoa. That just tastes like fruit punch with some
That's probably
carbonation.
very sneaky. I don't know what you were talking about the lesbian coma over there, Brad. Where are you talking about? Like, I don't get where you got this from.
It's like
This we're on pause mode at this point.
I mean, a weird little
All
mustache
right.
right from Charlie Chaplin.
I just have a straight up Modelo now in the same bottle. So no
I mean,
tricks this
Owen
time.
could be in the
No,
same boat.
this
Just
is
be careful either.
this is actually the apple cider vinegar.
Ah, you gotta stop changing up on us, dude.
Got my head
Yeah,
up here,
so,
twisted up like a
hey,
pretzel.
this was some 10W30, some motor oil that I had
Yeah.
hanging out in the back, man. I just thought I'd lube up real quick before the podcast today.
Oh my God. All right. So now that Owen's done with his shenanigans. All right. So, Gaddy, how long have you been racing?
Man, I'll be honest with you, that's kind of a harder question to answer. I first started out right after college, a few years after college, because it took me a little bit of time to get into it. I was originally discovered by Hendrick Motorsports and first got into it, but I mean, I would say probably a solid 12, 15 years, somewhere around in that ballpark. Because I had a year or two that I waited on a team that wanted to go racing in all series, and they were waiting on sponsorship, and it was around when a lot of energy drinks were really popping off, and it it was insane because these folks were really promising a lot, and I
Hmm.
think that they just went Xfinity and maybe a little bit of ARCA racing. And I think the Xfinity schedule was limited. They did a little bit of truck stuff here and there, but originally it was presented to me in a year or two fashion that they're going to go ARCA truck, Xfinity Cup, and they had a lot of backing and wanted me to do a lot for their program, and it just kind of fell through. And it was sort of early on in my career in racing, and I had listened to those guys and waited and waited and waited in hopes to what they were doing, and that didn't happen. So then I continued to work for other teams, like Roush and Haas, as well as Trackhouse and those guys. That was back when that was
Was it
uh,
Ganassi's?
Ganassi, back when that was Ganassi and everything. So I would say, for a solid 12 years, I've been in it, for sure. There, I've had hit and miss seasons with different things, and that's, in all honesty, I mean, that's a subject that that you can cover with a lot of guys who are on like the support side, pit side, some guys that are in the shop and road crew side. There's a lot of folks at home probably don't understand that, you can have seasons that are like that in multiple series where things are hit and miss.
Well, I mean, even the season we really like became good friends. You were out for 4 or 5 months because of your back spasms, right? Your
Yeah, I was
both
out
disc.
because I pulled some things and hurt some things there. As a jackman, I was jacking truck and Xfinity series, and that was sort of the advent of the 5 man, and a lot of guys were literally hurting themselves. And they started transitioning from having a designated jackman to then at that point, that was when the advent of 5 man was coming along, and they started going to more so of a carrier jackman style than a bigger, bulkier, stronger jackman. Technology started to change, and that's been
Mhm.
what, 5 years now, I think, that we've been doing that.
That's been seven.
That
2018.
wow. So there you go. So seven seasons now. I guess we're in the seventh season. So
Yeah.
so 6 seasons under our belt as far as five man goes, and obviously we're in the seventh season. So it's amazing to see the level of change that's happened just inside of those number of years that we've been in the industry. It's been unbelievable.
Yeah. I mean, I
Um,
can even attest to seeing the Jack Man got slimmer. He's a more slim down athlete than it used to be. The your
Very
biggest
much so.
dude, your biggest dude before when I first got in the sport was either your gas man or your jack man. And now I couldn't really tell you what position the jack man is because he looks kind of like a hybrid. He's
They do.
carrier
They
jack man. He could
yeah.
even be a changer now, like size wise. It's
They look more like I would say they look more like almost kind of like an outside linebacker or a basketball player almost. A lot of
yeah,
Jackman do now.
lanky.
Yeah, a lot of really
Is that due
thin.
to the jack like getting lighter or
Some of that's too.
more
Jack
compact?
getting lighter, Jack being easier. I would say probably more so would be the Jack being easier to operate and lift the car.
Hmm.
I would say was probably the biggest hump of technology that they overcame with the jacks that they have now.
I can't
Not necessarily.
imagine fuel getting any lighter.
No, fuel didn't.
They made the can smaller.
They made the can smaller in the Xfinity and Truck Series, and I
Was
think
there?
that was to open the doors for more folks to be able to do those jobs. I think that's probably the best answer or the best way to say that.
Hmm.
But as far as Jackman, in all honesty, was at a very prominent team, probably within the last few weeks, and I can actually jack the right side of a race car or jack the right side of a cup car with one hand.
Oh,
That's how insane the jacks
The
are.
leverage those things have is
The leverage that they have, the speed that those jacks actually come up, the locking
what was it before?
mechanisms. You were both hands and you were all in it, man. I mean,
Oh,
it was you had jacks that took a lot of muscle to get up a car.
wow.
And then the left side was even heavier because your left side obviously has your driver. Your left side was usually lower. And
so
both
you
of those
typically
things, yeah,
you
fought
typically
against
had
you.
two close to 200 pounds, 150 to 200 pounds, depending on the driver on the
Yep.
left side of the
I
car.
was
Yep.
about to say, like, you were probably hoping for like a Larson on the driver's side instead of like a
No, this
No,
was
McDowell.
like 140.
you're looking for that guy who's 5'7"
I
and
feel for
150
Landon because
pounds.
he jacks for Todd Gilliland like the biggest.
Yeah. And I mean, that's in all honesty, I mean, for a long time that played into things. I mean, you may have to go in a little bit harder, but now it's all about, carbon fiber and it's about titanium and it's about aluminum, stainless steel and every little ounce. I mean, these teams are taking technology into equipment to the next level.
Oh
Do we
yeah,
think we'll ever see hydraulic jacks in NASCAR?
No, because the cars they've tested it before and the cars are too heavy. The cars are too heavy to
Oh,
be able to do that. They've
that
tried
makes
it
sense.
and they've done those things. And in all honesty, if they had a failure, let's say that they had a failure, I mean, could you imagine being,
you can't beat your car.
yeah,
Yeah,
you're at a super speedway or something and you come down to put right sides on and the jack fails
yeah,
or a hydraulic jack fails, and now you've got to hire personnel to be there when that failure happens
yeah.
with a manual jack, and so at that point you're basically in the same boat. So
I also think Lamar kind of helped prove that it's really not that much faster.
That's true.
yeah, 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 true. And I
Hanging
mean,
out with Jarius, we learned that.
Yep.
yeah, the research and R&D behind it, though, I mean, in all honesty, you've got now with the cup cars, I mean, you're looking at 8-second stops. I think some teams in practice probably break into lower than that.
Hmm.
And until they figure out a way to make fuel flow
Yeah.
faster than that, you're stuck in those time frames. You're stuck in those time frames. And I mean, in all honesty, I see a lot of folks in social media. Blake and I talk about it all the time. You see guys saying, "Oh man, you guys are slow compared to Formula One," and it's kind of like, yeah, Formula
Well,
One's
so
got
what's funny about that same comment is if you break down how much faster they are, they're three times faster than we are. They have three amount of guys. So
literally you've
it's
got
the same.
19 people going over the wall to change four tires and put fuel in a car
Well,
that
Formula One doesn't
weigh.
even do fuel, right?
Not anymore. They don't. I mean,
Yeah.
obviously they used to, but I guess what I'm getting at is that
They still have the
you,
same amount of guys.
yeah, you've got three guys per corner. You've got, people, jacking up the cars and
You got
driver
front and back
comfort,
jack.
yeah, all that. So you've got literally more than three times the amount of folks that we have servicing, stock cars, and the stops are relative in the amount of personnel that you have. You
Yeah.
know,
Does
Yeah,
NASCAR limit for competition purposes or expense
money.
purposes versus okay. Since like F1 doesn't seem to really limit themselves. They kind of just maxed everything out with the position.
Yeah, no, it really ultimately I think comes down to budget. Because there's even people in the sport nowadays, and we won't get into this, but there's people in the sport nowadays that they want to try to eliminate pit crews completely, that are trying to find ways to save, help bottom dollar. That's the crummy part because there's so many people that love what we do that I mean there's a reason why I put my videos on TikTok. I try to educate people and just get people interested,
Yeah.
So it's not really to brag or anything, but we have a cool job and so many people are like amazed by it that
yep.
it's it gets so much action and attention that I don't want to ever see pit stops go away. So if me posting videos and us talking on this podcast and stuff get people involved and bring
Yeah.
people into the sport. That's the reason why we do it. But yeah, there's people that want to see pit stops go away completely.
Yeah,
Yeah.
for
Subscribe if you want to save pit stops.
That's gonna be our hashtag. Pit stops.
for folks who love football, for folks who love basketball, for folks who love baseball, heck, even like golf, anything where there's a human element into athletics,
Yeah.
even obviously mixed with the level of mechanics and machinery that we have and access to with the equipment that we have. Obviously, there's still an athletic and a major athletic component, not let alone just the drivers. The drivers are athletes, they really are. And I feel like that we could probably do a better job of articulating how much that our athletes are out there as far as pit road and the drivers and everybody else who are involved. That's You've got a lot of folks who really have a huge background in other sports. They're in the sport, and I'm sure that there are probably plenty of people in Blake and yourself that know that, and it's out there. But for the average viewer, the average watcher of anything motorsports, they really don't have any idea of the level of athleticism that go into pit stops and
Yep.
everything in there. They have
Yeah.
no idea.
Well,
It's really not something that's terribly highlighted on TV, except for like the top five drivers and
Yep.
stuff. And at that, they're not really talking about the pit guys as much as they are just analyzing the driver, what they're going to do ahead of time, and
Yeah.
I don't know, already going on to the strategy of the next restart. So,
I mean, take even let's say take 10 years and take your even some of like your smallest teams of the 2025 era and take 10 years ago and go back to your highest end levels of what's going on in the sport. The guys at the lowest levels right now compared to 10 years ago with the guys who are at the highest levels, they're cutting times by 5 seconds,
mhm.
on
Yeah,
certain series and certain things. So the sport's extremely progressive, and the accuracy and the athleticism have just grown and grown and grown. The speed's grown, and folks don't understand how accurate and athletic that you actually have to be competitive.
yeah.
that is a great comment that I think could lead into our next question. What's the hardest part of a pit stop for you as a fueler?
Um,
Would
the
it
hard
be catching the car coming in or your transition?
both of them depend upon basically other folks, and I say that because driver consistency depends upon that first can, and then your folks behind the wall depend upon your second can.
Mm-hmm.
For your trucks and Xfinity, you're looking at about 80 pounds worth of fuel and can that are coming over the wall, that are there, that essentially you're throwing and you're catching within split seconds, and I'm talking tenths of seconds if you're competitive, that are there. Your initial plug is going to happen with the driver, and if we have a consistent driver, say obviously, we're discussing, truck series here or something like that. If you have a consistent driver and he's coming in and he's stopping on same point, same time, same speed every time, then obviously that first can is a lot easier. Your guys behind the wall, they make you look good. A lot of folks don't understand how important your behind the wall support really makes the guys going over the wall look fantastic.
I'll
I
give a
don't
shout out to Rob for pulling my hose and throwing it.
absolutely,
I mean,
absolutely.
that's a huge thing that if I slip on it, if it gets tangled up underneath the splitter in the front of the truck, the
Yep,
whole stop can be shot.
yep.
We can lose
What's
two
his
or three
name?
seconds in that. His name is Rob.
Rob. Sounds like a charming guy pulling hose all the time. That's all he does.
For me, it's Joe and Brandon. Joe and Brandon. Joe hands me cans.
Brandon catches.
Brandon catches. First can. And, Joe hands me both cans. And those folks, in all honesty, if they're not practiced up just as much as I am, if they're not just as athletic or strong as I am, if they're not out there committing to doing the best job that they can at being in support, then it will kill a stop.
Yeah.
And to
Hmm.
Blake's point, pulling throwing hoses, in all honesty, that can actually be
Throw a
something that
hose.
goes throwing hose. Yeah, absolutely. Throwing hose, baby.
You just go into a club and just start throwing hose.
Dude, hey, sometimes it's got to be that way, man.
Yeah.
But in all honesty, with our rear changer back there with Steven, those guys could throw hoses. I've been in other series and higher level series than the truck series, and folks throw hose and it winds up around my legs as a fueler.
You get
It
lost
rounds
there.
up winds up in front of me, so I've got to try to step over it or step around it as a fueler as the car's coming in. And I don't really feel like that mainstream media does a great job of understanding or articulating how much that can affect a stop or that can affect performance.
I
And it
mean,
happens.
how much does the can weigh? And just about 100, 90 to 100?
Yeah, you get in the Cup Series, you can go all. I've had them all the way up to 105 pounds.
You can feel that five to
Uh,
10 pound difference at the
Well, I mean, you're talking about the different series between Xfinity and trucks. You're talking about a 20 to 25 pound difference,
Hmm.
within
mm,
those. So that can be, a huge game changer. We talked about jacks earlier, right? So they've done everything possible to manipulate the weight of jacks going over the wall and coming around, obviously, to the left side. So within those pound ranges, between the series, that's a huge discrepancy, when you're talking tenths of seconds.
Hmm.
As we all know, Blake can tell you, and obviously and other folks at home that are big time fans. I mean, if you're not within that 3/10 of a second within certain series, 3/10 of a second on stop is where a competitive edge happens.
Yeah.
yeah.
I
Um,
mean, I feel like Indy this past week, we talked about it on 10 Away earlier, just it really showed off the not only the strategy of the whole race, but how important pit road was because I mean, for Larson, he credited them to gaining the spots. Like he really couldn't pass outside of 5 laps of a restart. And yeah, it was one of those things where I feel like it seemed like Indy to me is the level raised as a pit crew member, or is it about the same as every week?
Personally, with my experience, I did all three series this weekend. I pit all three series. I would tell you that between IRP as well as Indianapolis Motor Speedway, every single pit stop counted at both facilities and with every series.
Yeah.
There was not a discrepancy as far as pit crew counting or not within those things. And it's amazing because you go to somewhere like Daytona or you go to somewhere like Talladega or or something of that nature, and you say, well, these are only fueler racetracks. These
Yeah.
are only racetracks that the fueler is the most important. Yeah, we can bang out an 8 second pit stop, but it's one of those things where, in all honesty, for this racetrack and other racetracks, similar to that the pit crew matters just as much on that super speedway that's there. And as Blake and I have talked about earlier, and he can attest to this. I mean, pit road's probably a solid mile long.
Hmm.
Yeah, Indy's it's insanely long.
Yeah, so
Indy's
I
two
feel like
miles,
it's
right? Two and a half?
two and a
Two and a
half.
half.
Two
Yep,
and a
two
half.
and a half.
Oh, I told my wife the wrong mileage. I told her it was half mile.
+2.
Well, you're right for IRP. You're right for IRP there.
It is
Mile point
crazy. She asked me
system.
why
It was
she was asking me why the trucks only go to IRP versus Indy,
I
and
mean, I've
I
said
said
that
I don't
before. I
know.
think I said that on the solo last week. I was like, I want to see the trucks at big track, but dude, I'll take IRP again for giving out an ass whoop
I was gonna
this
say,
past weekend.
yeah, considering the dominant level that front row produced the truck and that 34 team, as well as the rest of us did that.
I'll get that close up.
It's
You gotta open that close to the mic.
Oh, is he already on the Guinness? That's a heavy
I
drink
mean, I'm
too.
halfway on my
Bro,
24.
if you switched up from the apple cider vinegar, I had to switch up to something else too, man.
This is
You
I wasn't
you
anticipating chugging that apple cider vinegar.
you really dug into that apple cider vinegar, man. That had me
Yeah.
tripped out, man. That was good stuff.
You were like, I
Really.
was expecting to
I
talk about
wonder why Owen
racing.
didn't have friends growing up.
Hey, man,
No,
you
I
know,
had friends until they
guys
saw
over
me
here
do
chewing
stuff
on
like that.
carrots and drinking apple cider vinegar as
Yeah.
party favors, man. I mean, it's crazy, man. I've never
They
seen
would
anything
put
like
me in
that.
the center and say, Playboy. And it was
Yeah,
weird.
man. I'm telling you, if I had that growing up, the level of chest hair that I would have been exposed to would have been
It
insane, man.
was, they never commented on my looks as a 6-year-old, but they said, good Lord, where did he get that hair from?
Mm,
And also put a
nothing wrong
shirt on
with
him.
that.
All right, let's get into
Nothing
the
wrong with
next
that.
question. So, what's your favorite part of a pit stop?
Um,
Ooh,
in all honesty, it's for me, obviously, you know, I'm big time on the fuel only stops as far as like when it really counts,
give me the ball,
you
coach.
know, there. And that's, you know, you and I talked about that earlier this week. We were talking about, you know, the win that we had, the second one of the year, and then really just, I mean,
We put it on the dude.
a gut check of like wanting this championship for this 34.
Hmm.
Like you look at it and it really becomes almost surreal that it's within our reach to perform every single week to the level that we did at IRP. And you turn around and say, man, look, you know, this championship is a reality. It's a possibility, you know, and it's so tough, man. It's a lot of folks, like I said at home, really don't understand how tough it is to compete for a win,
Hmm.
let alone a championship. So when you get with a family and a good group of people that are, you know, front row and the folks over there on that 34 team, and you see the level of competitiveness that they bring, and then we can compete as well with the pit stops and everything. And personally, I can compete, you know, as a fueler to say, hey, look, you know, everything that we touch, everything that we do. To answer the question as far as what's my favorite part of a pit stop, my favorite part of a pit stop is when we roll off and beat people like we did this last weekend and
Absolutely.
gap the entire field. It's not me individually. It's not, you know, Blake individually. It's
It's
not
all five of
the
us.
Jack man.
And
It's
it's
not
the
the
4 or 5
carrier.
guys behind the wall.
Shout out to Alvin, my favorite tire carrier, man. I love that guy. He's gonna love that.
Says that right next to Blake.
He's gonna tell me man, hey man, you being
Weren't
weird,
you at
man.
Blake's wedding party?
Yeah, I know, right?
Oh
Exactly,
yeah, fun
exactly.
fact for
He's
the
like, I
viewers.
was, but I wish I was in Alvin's. Man, that guy's
Gaddy,
great.
Gaddy was in my wedding, me and Sam's wedding. So
And I was. That's okay. Don't shout that out.
also fun side story. So one of the first days I ever met Gaddy, do you know what I'm about to say?
I have no idea what
One
you're
of the
about to
first
say.
days I ever met Gaddy, he showed up in a little Ford Ranger and a shirt that was way too tight for him. I walked up to him and said, "Hey
It
man, why are
sounds
you
like
wearing
Blake in
my
high school.
why?" No, I walked up to him and I said, "Hey man, why are you wearing my shirt?" And he got a kick out of that. We then had practice that same day. We were like mixing and matching guys. I go to the right rear. I was changing rears at the time. He was jacking. And I hit my five
Nice.
off.
Just at
He
practice.
pulls, this was during 6 man, so it's a little bit different. He pulls the right rear off. He hits me in the chin. Like my helmet catches the blow. So I'm just like, oh. But then my momentum, it carried me backwards and I fell on my back. And I
Yeah.
had to get
That's
back up and finish the stop. Dude, this I had it on video until a couple of years ago. I don't think I have it anymore.
Oh man.
But it was so funny because it caught me off guard and all my balance shifted. And I could not save
and
myself. But
Gaddy
he hit
caught
me in
you,
the face.
threw you
So when he
back.
pulled the right rear, hit me in the face, and then we finished the stop. But to this day, that was one of the first memories I have with Gaddy, like 11 years, 10, 11 years ago.
That's been a minute.
That was
Yeah,
back at Chuck's place when he
that's a
first
long time.
started.
Yeah. So
So
I can recall all of that. I didn't realize that he was going to bring that memory up, but
it was
Blake's
like a brown
Blake
Ford Ranger. Was
yeah,
that what you used to drive?
Blake's shoulder blades were the first thing to hit the ground.
Oh, I had to catch myself. I just like stayed still and hit the
Yeah,
ground.
so this was right before we went to five man,
Yeah.
and I was primarily a jack man before I had really went into a lot of fueling and things. And like I said, or what he said, I'm going to this right side, and the whole job was basically to beat your changer, to pulling that right rear
You
off,
beat
and it was his job.
you
To get
beat
out
him
of
with
It
the
front
was his
tire.
job to get the hell out of the way.
way.
Not my job. That was his job to remove his upper body from out of the way of that tire coming out. Because guess what? It was my job to get it out of there as fast as possible.
Yep. It was a
And
reality check. That
so,
was one of those growing moments for me. I'm like, man, there's some jackmen out here that they're fast. I gotta be faster.
yeah, when you could peg and pump and go to a right rear with that level of speed and pull it out,
Yeah.
it was the job of the changer to basically get out of the way.
Mm.
And I caught him at just the right time, I guess, or in his development or my development or whatever you want to call it. But yeah, man, he bit the dust pretty hard that day, and that was his first time meeting me and my first time meeting him. So it was pretty insane. But
That
yeah,
Look at
that
sounds
that.
like a
was
bit like a Mike Lazowski and a whatever from
Dolly from Monsters Inc.
yeah.
yeah, yeah. That's hilarious, man. That's
You
hilarious.
know what we've actually called each other? It's like Kevin Hart and The Rock. Like when we run
Uh,
around in public, that's kind of what we resemble. Like I'm short and undersized, and he's just a
That's
big
funny.
dude.
Yeah.
But that's good stuff. All right, so my next question is, do you have a favorite win? Like how many wins do you have? If you want to even talk about it, do you honestly I'd probably put Bristol last year and then this past weekend top of the board for me.
Yeah, I was gonna say like this past weekend or even our first, I would say this, like being able to talk about because we've been talking about championship the entire time that I've been with this 34 team. As far as from Truck Series, other series that I've won in before in the past. You're lucky to be there. You feel lucky to be there. You feel great to be there with those wins. And they don't come easy. They really don't. But to be able to say, hey guys, this win means the first step into our possibility of a championship. I think that's a telltale sign of something to where you really feel like it's special. And with a group of folks that we're with, it's special. I feel like the passion that's there is very special.
I
Um,
mean, look at how we all celebrated, dude. We celebrated
oh
for like a
man,
minute on pit road.
uh,
Oh, there's other teams, they just kind of give each other high fives
yeah,
and walk around
yeah.
and that's it.
And I mean, so many folks and personnel that are involved, from the team are there. It's one of those things where you really feel like the level of support that happens with a win like that is just it is to keep using the word, it is very special.
Mhm.
So to turn around and say, to say this is the first step towards the championship, this is our first step into locking into the playoffs. Um, the guys, all the road crew, Alex, Brandon,
Clark,
yeah,
Rob, Jonathan.
Dylan, all those guys, they were so nonchalant about, the truck this weekend, leading up to the race time. They were so laid back. They were so just, yeah, I think we've got some speed for them out here today. And to go out and dominate, and I mean, it
20 laps, P1.
I can't even put in the level of words, the talent that those guys put into that truck,
Yeah.
Yeah.
The
was just
brains,
insane.
the brains behind
Yeah, the hard work.
every part of that setup.
Yeah, I mean, just everything there involved in completing that race and dominating every segment, stages, the whole 9 yards, dominating the pit stops,
Yeah.
all of it. That was a huge favorite win. I'll say, as far as in
How
my
much
career.
how much does
I'm not gonna
IRP
lie.
translate to Phoenix? I mean, I know it's like flat bankings or
Um,
low bankings, but
I don't think we were really allowed to talk much about the setup stuff because I've been
tell
told
us every tire's air pressure, the wedge adjustments, Also, I have
Now,
Corey
I've
Hine
been
here on the
told
phone.
I've been told
Oh
what
man.
I have been told what some of our Phoenix setup is, but I don't think I want to talk about
They
that
just
just
told you
in
it's a
case.
truck, and they're
So,
like, "Don't tell
they
Blake
said they
anymore."
said worry about lug nuts and getting gas in it to
Yeah,
us.
Yeah, that's what they're saying. Make sure there's enough fuel to finish the race and make sure all the lugs are tight.
Yeah,
yeah.
We're good.
Does Phoenix at the end of the year actually feel different? I mean, I
it's
don't
gonna.
know. Yeah,
That's what it's gonna
I asked
be.
that question. I realized last year Lane was not. He won the races, just not in the regular season. But I'm
Well,
curious to see if it feels
it
different.
feels different because obviously, I mean, it's the end of the season.
Yeah,
It feels different because there are championships that are happening. It feels different because folks are finishing in points and sponsorship is looking at every single position.
mm,
For folks. So yeah, I mean it not just the folks that are up there that are competing for a championship or a win.
yeah,
Some guys are competing for rides for the next year, contract
Um,
stuff.
some folks are competing, like I said, for a champ or excuse me, for a sponsorship for the next year. Folks are competing for our pit positions for the next year, depending upon how stops go and the lasting impression that they leave for the end of the
I
season.
mean, to go on to that point, sometimes it's an audition. Like you're literally
Yeah.
going out there
Yep.
for. There's some teams that might be like giving you some looks, and they might, if you have a bad weekend, they might say, "Hey, like, we're not interested. We're gonna bring up somebody else." So it counts. And I mean, honestly, a lot of that stuff that's kind of the premature decisions for the next year for pit crew guys are a lot often made in October, September, October. They're kind of starting to look for the next season because I mean you only have a 3 month off season,
yeah,
but still, I mean there might be some guys that are going to become backups or might get signed by somebody else that
Yep.
is a last minute audition. So your Fridays, Saturdays, and Sundays are important in Phoenix, but it also depends on like what you're on. It might be that you are running for a championship. It might be you're running for something else. So maybe
yeah.
just pride and dignity. Who knows?
Yep.
But so I got another question for you. What's one of your best memories in the sport? What do you think
Oh,
it is? Like I
I thought
think
you
I
were
know
just gonna
what
leave it
some
at
of our
memories.
answers would be because I hang out with this guy so much.
Tell us your
But I
deepest,
don't even think we're
darkest
at
thoughts.
liberty. I don't think we're even at liberty to say some of the things that have happened in some of these rides, but I'm trying to think of like a favorite memory I have with you other than you rocking me in the face with a tire.
They did say to beat you.
All right, so the
I
fun
think you
story I would
just took
have with
it
this
differently.
guy, the fun story I would have with this guy was like, what was it, about 3 years ago? We're heading home from Bristol. Bristol's like a 3 hour drive from our house where we live. We
For
live on
some
the
reason, I
same
thought it
road.
was 6. It's only
No,
3 hours.
it's three only 3 hours.
But well, I would say probably about 3.5. It just depends
Depends
on
on where
what
you're driving to.
So if you round it up from 3.5 to the nearest sixth.
I would say I'd
You got it
say
in.
if you're gonna stop for a good Subway sandwich, knowing what this guy's gonna say here,
I stopped for 3.
you're gonna say 4 actually is more than likely.
So
So
this
we'll say a
clown,
solid 4 hours to get home.
Every
this
2 hours,
clown,
I have to do a
we
Subway
we stop
sandwich.
at a
Yeah,
we stopped at Subway at God, dude, it had to be midnight, 12:30 in the morning, maybe even 1 o'clock.
and it's probably what about 20 minutes outside the track, maybe 15 minutes.
Within an hour of the track, we're heading home and we are starving. And this is something that most people don't know. When we leave the track late at night, there's nothing open hardly
Mhm.
ever. Like, I
Yeah.
mean, we don't get to go eat at like any nice restaurant. We got to typically get a McDonald's, a Taco Bell. That's usually our options. So we leave the track. We're heading back home. Our weekend's done at Bristol. This is one of the smartest guys I know, and he never does stupid
It
things. Like
goes Stephen
if
Hawking, Albert Einstein, Gaddy.
basically,
Top
and
3.
honestly,
Listen,
those other
we're
two.
launching we're launching rockets over here on this street, dude. Like it's
So
great, man.
They're
All
not
rocket
good
science over
rockets,
here,
but
man.
So we're driving back. We go to a Subway, and this old guy named Jim is making our subs, and he looks like he's ready to go to bed. He is. He's not even on this planet, really. It's midnight, if not later, like I said. So we get our subs, we go get in the truck, we're driving home, and Gaddy all of a sudden decides, I don't want this lettuce on my sub anymore.
oh
So
no.
his idea at 1 in the morning is to roll down the window in the truck and stick his sub out the window and hope that it just only takes only take the lettuce off of his sandwich.
He said, "Screw my hands.
He's
Yeah,
I'm gonna
like
let the
everything
wind take
else
care
is
of
there.
this."
Yeah, everything else is there. It's great, other than the lettuce.
he's like, I don't want this lettuce anymore. So he sticks it out the truck window. We're going 80 miles an hour.
I did
So
not see that coming.
he's like, okay, it's kind of gone. He goes back to eating it. We get home. I drop him off at his house. I go to my house 100 yards away, and I go to open the passenger door in the back to get stuff out, and I realize there's this white like substance all over the side of the
Film
truck.
across the whole back of the truck, and then
And I'm like, I'm not even really even awake anymore. I'm just like living. I'm just surviving. I'm just trying to get in my bed.
It's just lettuce all over your
It's
door.
just like Caesar salad dressing all over the side of the truck.
it's sweet onion teriyaki sauce that goes from literally the front passenger side window to the rear tail light on the bed of the truck.
Wait, so my
It's
question is,
everywhere.
everything else stayed on the sandwich. You were able to,
Yeah,
wow.
brother Jim at Subway had just
He
completely
loaded
doused this
he
stuff.
loaded this man up with sweet onion
Yeah,
teriyaki.
like imagine that for you it would have been apple cider vinegar or something, but for me it was the sweet
I do
onion
put oil and
sauce.
vinegar on my
Yeah,
sandwiches.
yeah.
I think my words in the moment were, "Are you fucking retarded? What are you doing?"
That's crazy.
So
Wow.
then I get home at 2:30 in the morning and I look at my truck and there's just sauce all over the right rear of the
It
truck.
literally looked like some gigantic man had took its own liberties with the right side of his truck, pretty much. I mean, it was just glazed over.
I'm more
I mean,
laughing
it
at the
was
idea of somebody driving behind y'all at 2 in the morning and
yeah.
lettuce
They were
and
like,
Just getting hit
yeah,
by lettuce and
they
sauce.
they took what looked like a cow patty of lettuce on the face, driving home.
they're trying to use a windshield wiper, it's just smearing. They
Yeah,
So
wrecked.
it's
then of
not
course
working.
this guy was like, "Oh, I didn't mean to do that."
Whoops.
Yeah, it was definitely a whoops moment.
That's a
That was the
funny
only
moment.
time I've ever seen this man have a real lapse in judgment was that night. 1 in the morning after Jim served him up. He was like, "I don't want this lettuce
Yeah,
anymore." Out the truck window it
Wow.
goes.
Jim hooked me up, but
So
yeah,
With
it's
too much lettuce is what he hooked
I,
you up
I
with.
think by like 3 a.m. he was at the car wash trying to wash
I
all that
was
stuff
like,
off.
I gotta go rinse this off and like with a pressure washer rinse. It's been riding next to an 80-mile-per-hour wind for an hour and a half. So it's not
If
just
not
coming off with the
longer.
water hose. I gotta get some pressure behind it. So I had to go to the car wash at 3 a.m. A
Why didn't
self-serve
you
car
just
wash.
wait?
I knew I was gonna sleep in and it was gonna be hot. It was like
That's true.
August. It's gonna get
Yeah.
caked onto the truck. So he's over there like, bring it to my house tomorrow. I'll wash it off. I'm like, no, man, we don't have time for
I told
that.
him that. I said, look, dude, I said, just bring it to my house tomorrow. I'll get the pressure washer out. I'll detail the thing
I
and it'll be
drove to
good.
the car wash
It
like
was
15
like
minutes away.
3 a.m. and this dude feeding quarters into the damn, car wash and going, yeah, man, you literally screwed this thing up. And I'm like, bro, I'm sorry. Like, we got out of the track.
But my sandwich was good.
Yeah, the sandwich was great. The sandwich was great, man.
Starting
Outside
to
of
feel a
that,
salad
It just
now.
messaged me back like the sandwich was
after I got
awesome.
off the 5 pounds of lettuce and teriyaki sauce, yeah, it was wonderful.
Jim was trying to shorten
So
up his inventory for the night.
Jim said, "You know what? It's 12:30. You're gonna enjoy this sweet onion
You're gonna
teriyaki
you're gonna
chicken
eat like a
sandwich
rabbit
here. Yeah,
here.
Enjoy the
Um,
fiber.
yeah,
all
you're gonna
right,
really like
so
this.
the next question I would have for you is what's your worst race experience you've ever had? Now I remember like that same year we first kind of got on the same team, you had an incident with Josh Reaume's fuel head like dumping on you in Phoenix. Was that one of your worst experiences or is there something worse?
I would say like for
I
me,
remember you changing behind a pit box mid-race.
yeah, I mean that happened, and I mean a lot of folks don't understand how badly for the
Chemicals.
folks at home how badly that fuel burns once you get it on skin.
Oh,
Um,
okay.
that's not fun
Wow.
whatsoever.
I never even thought about that.
Um, it's once you get that stuff on skin and it's pure fuel.
Yeah,
It
what is like what would you call that racing fuel in the sense of like
I don't even know.
versus going to your standard gas station for the
It's
normal
you've got a
person?
lot of ethanol in that stuff.
Yeah.
I'll be honest with you. So to expand on that story completely, and then I'll dive into a little bit about what I would consider about what's my, I would consider, a worse story or worse scenario or what I don't like,
Yeah.
about things. But I literally had to go down. So what happened was they basically handed me a fuel can, the cap, and you can look these sort of scenarios up online because it's happened to other fuelers and things, it's happened to other folks. but they hit you in the shoulder with the fuel cap there. And this
Mhm.
all happens as the trucks and cars are coming in. So those caps sometimes can sit on your shoulder, and if it hits just right and with enough pressure and rotation, then the caps can come off.
Mhm.
And you've either got to put a hand there to be able to stop the fuel, or you've got to figure out a way, or something to make that or to remedy that situation.
Mhm.
But that did happen out in Phoenix during a truck race. Did have that happen, and it emptied
That's like half the
gallons,
can.
yeah, gallons all over me and everything else. We did complete the stop. We did, get the truck full. We did put tires on.
Were
I
you
mean, we
just
worked.
cupping the fuel on the ground and throwing it at the gas can?
No, I mean, thankfully, we were able to stop enough of it to where we got enough in there, as far as the truck was concerned. But what I had to do post stop was essentially go down to the infill care center.
You had to do a Chinese fire drill.
Yeah, they've got a huge area that they pull the medical personnel, ambulances, fire trucks, everything into a gigantic bay, for lack of better terms, down towards the infill care center. And they literally have these massive, like 20-foot curtains that they pull off and close this huge bay at the end, with the infill care center down there. And so the guys came out. They didn't have towels. They didn't have anything else. They've got these massive commercial emergency shower systems that they have on the outside of the building.
Nice.
And they pulled the curtains closed on each end of the building, and they said, "Here's a few, gurney bed sheets that we have to dry off with."
Wow.
And that's about it. Meanwhile, there were like huge windows where personnel were walking past everything else, and they said,
You think it was a
"Hey,
two-way mirror they were looking at you?
no, not at all. They
Yeah,
were
I'm
they
sure they
were
were.
they were straight up clear
Let me
windows.
see his fuel can.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely.
Look at
And
the
that there
dong
were,
on that guy.
yeah,
I don't
there
know
were
what's heavier to
folks.
carry around.
Yeah, I know, right? You're already carrying this. How are you carrying that, dude?
Yeah.
That kind of thing.
Very low center of
That
gravity
guy's
there.
got those.
Absolutely. No wonder he's so quick to the car with that thing. But yeah, it was amazing because they literally, I mean, everybody, sort of leapt into action, but there was zero privacy there whatsoever. And so I pretty much, took everything off, because everything anywhere that you didn't want fuel to be, I had fuel in those areas.
Nice.
And you want to talk about something that burned, it was not fun.
Well, I don't mean to one up you, but when I was in middle school, Blake tricked me into putting icy hot down there.
No, 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 no.
I'm
I
just gonna
remember this
say it was pretty
day.
bad.
I came home and told him
I
I got
still
icy
have
hot.
burns down
I told
there.
him I got icy hot on my balls because it just happened to like touch it.
You like
And then
sweat or
Owen
something?
wanted to go experience it. So he runs in the bathroom
I
and he
did
starts
two
yelling.
layers.
He starts yelling.
Well, we had the one that was like the ball that you rub on and everything. And yeah,
At least it wasn't just like a squirt tube of
I let it go
icy
once and
hot
I was
that
like,
went
I'm
in there.
not feeling anything. So then I put another layer on and I doubled down. Then I jumped in the shower, not kind of realizing at the
Oh
moment,
wow.
like that doesn't make it better. If anything, it kind of makes it worse.
Worse. Yeah. So
Yeah.
imagine, so basically it was the same thing. And I had it anywhere from literally the top of my traps and my neck and
Oh, all the way
shoulder
down.
all the way down to
Ugh.
basically my feet pretty much. Because essentially the fire suit had carried it all the way down.
Yeah.
And as you got, or as you know, maybe the folks at home don't know, but you obviously you have all the Nomex on underneath, the long underwear underneath that is supposed to be fireproof to protect you from that. But let's say that I had a rear changer who had sparked up a few lug nuts, I mean, I would have been
You've been
in
done.
very, very bad shape. Very
Damn.
bad shape. Very bad shape. So I'm thankful for the fact that I didn't have anything like that happen, but it was definitely a wild experience as far as being able to say, yeah, let's go down to the infield care center and take a shower mid race, and so
Dang.
here you go. As far as Blake's question for me, saying what I hate most about a stop, And I think that this drives the entire industry of pit crew and pit stops and everything that's involved. Any mistake that I have or that is within my team that I can't, help fix or help change or help do anything with, man, I have a certain level of disdain for being able to make that perfect.
Mhm.
And I think that everybody, and including
Anybody that's a competitor, you're your worst critic.
you are. You are. You want to be perfect. And in a world where we all know that, and I think there's a big support of folks who say, hey, look, nobody's perfect. Nobody can do anything perfectly these
Well,
days.
you don't know me that well, but yeah,
Uh,
no, I get that.
you live in a world out there within pit stops where you want to be perfect with everything that you do during a pit stop. You want
Yeah.
it to look perfect on film. You want it to perform perfectly during the stop for obviously the performance reasons and gaining spots and or winning pit road.
So they don't give
Um,
you the bear bond because you're sitting there taking too long.
He's technically not allowed to touch it.
Technically, I'm not allowed to touch it. That's one thing that I do also really,
But you judge
don't.
from the wall. You're like,
Well,
I would
you
have
support
squared
it.
that one up a bit more.
Yeah, you support as much as you can. You support and do as much as you can. When I more so primarily jack versus fueling. Obviously I was more involved with all that kind of stuff. But
So why aren't you allowed to touch it? I don't think I heard that reason at
it's
least.
it's part of
It's
the
just
part of the
rule.
rules. If you fuel the car first, or if you fuel the car, period, you're not allowed to touch anything other than the left rear tire, and that generally is just
That's
kicking it back to the wall.
Yeah.
that's
Well, so
interesting.
see, back in the day when it was 6 man, fuelers were allowed to run different. There's different play calls for pit stops. So when I was at Penske, there was one called a cage fighter, and your fueler could go instead of fueling the car. If you didn't need fuel for the rest of the race or that pit stop, you're like, we're gonna veto fuel. You could go to the right front and pull the right or the right
Oh,
front tire,
Yep.
and you could take it back to the wall, and then you could run to the left rear and take that tire off too. So now the changes are doing less work, and it makes the pit stop faster.
I thought you were gonna
That's
say you
kind
just run
of
to the other stall and start beating up the other guys.
Now that would be cool. That would be a lot
Yeah,
of fun.
that
That
would
would
be
be a
a
lot of
great
fun.
element.
start tripping
Yeah,
people.
that would be a lot of fun. So
See these tire
Dude, I
changes
can
trying
see
to
you with the Rock'em Sock'em robots.
dude, we would win everything. We would win it all, dude.
just
We would
throwing
I
them
win it
mean,
over the
all.
Corey
car.
Haim tried to show up
I
in
would just I
Wilkesboro.
would make it down through every stall and just make it happen, dude. I wouldn't even care.
You'd be carrying
We
like
would
three
we would
guys.
make that
Put
happen.
put your arm out and just
Yeah. It would tribute to to Hogan, man. We would make it happen, man.
And then
good job,
tribute to
Terry.
Yeah,
Ozzy, you eat the
yeah,
bat at the end of the road.
exactly. But to be honest, man, I don't understand why NASCAR doesn't allow more to happen. If you send what I think should be allowed, I think this should be the rule. I think if NASCAR really wanted to be fair across the board and open up things across the board, what they should do is say, hey, look, you've got five guys, you've got a pit stop. You can do whatever you want during that pit stop, as long as you only have five people over the wall and possibly a driver comfort person that only attends to driver comfort. The other five guys that are involved in the pit stop, they can do whatever, whenever, anything there.
And driver
So
comfort being like new water,
Tear off.
yeah, so
words of
say like for this,
affirmation,
yeah, so for like
Good
this
job.
this weekend and yeah, no kidding, right? This
little rub on
weekend
the
and
head.
yeah, anything, fist bump, whatever.
Yeah.
Um, but for like hot weekends, you got ice packs, you got all this other stuff. Yeah, get out the
Yeah,
get
you gotta
out
do
the
what you
old
gotta do.
The hand just
lay the
made
old
you.
hand Joe out there,
Yeah,
like
you
if
went
you're
right
doing
back to
that,
being a jackman, didn't you?
exactly. That's awesome. That's fantastic.
Oh man.
But in all honesty, I mean, I think that they should go back to saying that, okay, if you're allowed five people, then guess what? Those five people should be allowed to do anything and everything
We should
Yeah.
just start
for the
changing
stop.
like rear tires only or front tires only,
I
like
have wondered
left
if
front,
that would
right
ever
front.
work. I mean, I know probably wouldn't, but
Well,
It's
my
all
thing is
about
this:
lateral
is
grip.
why if you've got five guys, why can't that fueler turn into another tire carrier?
yeah,
Why can't those guys either hang tires or carry tires or anything else that's there? It doesn't make sense to me why NASCAR is only limited to saying, okay, this person can only fuel that tire.
yeah,
If I can go pull a right front or I can do something with, a left or a right rear or whatever else and still put fuel in the car or anything else, that goes on or make an adjustment, then why not? It doesn't make sense why the
yeah.
rules are there
That'd be an
for that.
interesting element. I mean, in the way of pit stops and having that strategy plan. Just as
Absolutely.
I'm just thinking about the idea of a cage fighter, a literal thing, just like one man from a team during no fuel pit stops trying to go distract the other team by just beating the hell out of them. I would love
That
to
would
see
be
that.
that would be pretty insane.
Just
But I
for
mean,
like,
in a realistic world, let's say that you had a left side adjustment. Why would you not be able to make that left side
Then
adjustment
grab a gas can and
and then
finish.
grab a gas can of
yeah,
fuel? Or why would you not be able to grab a right front or do something with a left rear and have that carrier come around and do that left front, outside of that? It doesn't make sense what the rules are there. And
yeah,
I think it's, eventually maybe they may open that up. I don't know.
yeah,
Maybe if teams push for that, I don't know. But
yeah,
I like the left side adjustment idea. That's pretty cool.
I mean, left side adjustments, anything else is there. I mean, like I said, I mean, why not turn that? In
I don't
fact,
know, like the
Jackman could just say, okay, I'm just going to jack, and you're going to have the carrier hang the right front. Gasman would hang the right rear, and come around and do the same thing on the other side. Like it doesn't make sense why you can't do that under, let's say that you go to Bristol, Martinsville, any other short track. Why would you not be able to do that?
I like the
yeah,
idea though of it being 5 man, but you can do adjustments. So like say you run out there and you kind of get out of everybody's way, and then once the right side's done, you just make the right side adjustments. We don't have to worry about it.
I mean, yeah,
And then you
why
come
not?
back over, grab a can, plug it for 4 or 5 gallons.
Let's say that you've got to have it just only like, I mean, so in Indy this past week, the last couple of stops, the last stop or two was only a splash of fuel. So let's say that you only were plugged in for, a second or two,
Yeah.
or something shorter
So
than
you're
that.
saying there's a lot of downtime sometimes with y'all's pit
I,
stops that
I wouldn't call it downtime. I would call it the fact that if you've got enough fuel to make it to a stage, or you've got enough fuel to say, okay, I'm only, a certain number of laps till the end of the race, or I want to gamble, then they should put the gamble in the hands of the team,
yeah,
right,
not the gamble in the hands of NASCAR protocol or a rule book.
right.
You should be allowed to say, hey, look, if I want to make this adjustment, this is what my driver needs. I can send five guys over the wall. The same thing happens for the clock, to make repairs to a
yeah,
damaged car. So why not do the same thing during the pit stops and say, okay, I'm going to send five guys over the wall. What I do to the car is my business
Yeah.
as a team.
yeah. I would like to see some freedom back to the teams. I feel like that's really just being taken away more and more lately. And I mean, would y'all say that NASCAR kind of neglects pit road stuff until they need to plug something? Or like do you think that they actively work to improve it or take in those ideas that you're saying about the gas man? Do you feel hurt if you ever just say that, or do you think NASCAR's just kind of like whatever until oh, there's an advantage, plug
Um,
the hole?
I think that it's sort of what's in their playground or what's in their playbook, that's there. I think that they may listen to you, but do I think that they're open to making changes outside of what they want to do? Probably not.
Yeah,
It kind of goes back to the whole like, does it meet bottom dollar? If it doesn't really affect costs, they would be way more inclined to it. But the parameters they have set for pit crews now, there's not really much else we can do to change or benefit other than like if fuelers are allowed to make like track bar adjustments or left side
Yeah.
adjustments. That's really the only thing I could think of that really would benefit us as pit crew guys and in an actual pit stop. Like you would have to
yeah,
learn how to make adjustments. Like You know, are you going up or are you going down?
I
Like,
mean, jacking. I mean, I've made plenty of adjustments, and
yeah, I see. I
the
see.
majority of jackmen, or excuse me, the majority of fuelers come from jackmen.
Yeah.
So you've already made those adjustments beforehand. So it would be very natural for
Yeah.
a fueler to be able to do those kinds of things.
Uh,
Yeah.
kind of another question that's not really on this topic, but we did have this question with a podcast we did last week for the Dover recap. What would be the best way for someone to get into pitting or getting onto a pit crew nowadays? I know y'all kind of have two different paths, so it'd be kind of interesting to hear.
Say that
Man,
question again. Like,
No,
what
no,
would
what?
be, how do you
I
get
must
into
do that.
pit?
Can we take a break before this? Can I take a leak real quick?
Yeah,
Yeah, I
we
mean,
can
it's gonna
pause.
take a
I got to
second
go
for
to
you
the
to get out of
bathroom
that
too.
seat. Yeah,
You
pause
gotta
it.
take one too. You know, we were thinking.
All right, we're back to it. I've actually never paused before, so I'm curious to see how that works.
There you go.
Just cut it, Owen.
We'll see. I don't normally cut these
Swear to
things that
God,
much.
then I'll spill that on the PC. I'm so mad. I'm gonna
Do it.
kick you out.
How much? So I mean, as far as content wise, how many? What do you guys normally look for as far as time frame on?
With
Hour,
Poppin'
hour and
Top,
50.
there is no time limit to be honest. With 10 away, we're trying to go down to 45 minutes, but I think the
Or
one today for
probably close.
Indy was like around 100, or not 100, but an hour.
I'll have
So
to start. I have to start getting you guys some other questions or whatnot. And, get Blake off the other questions that are there. Maybe we can start digging into some other topics and things.
sure. But yeah, Poppin' Top has never been very like secured anything. It's usually based on the person who comes in. So
Yeah, like
I
we
got
had Steven on the first one, then Lane was the second because we won. Jarius was the third one. Sam was
who was the third one?
Jarius Moorhead
Oh, I got you.
yeah,
over at Hendrick. You've met him before,
Yeah,
haven't you?
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
yeah.
Jarius was the third one because we watched that documentary on the Garage 56 car for Le Mans. And I
Yeah.
was like, I need to call him and see if he wants to be on it. And so
That's actually a really cool topic that I honestly,
listen
man,
to it. It was really cool to ask him.
that's one thing that I'd like to do, man, is go like pit like the Rolex 24 stuff and
Yeah.
do all that. That's one
How
thing
many
that
NASCAR drivers go like get plucked to go over there? Do any of them?
you
To
get
Le Mans or to a Rolex?
you
Rolex or something?
you get some of that stuff with those
Not a
guys,
ton.
but I don't think it's a ton of those folks. So
Yeah.
I mean, I feel
Especially
like
nowadays, truck
yeah,
drivers, man,
man.
like they don't.
It's I feel like that guys there were used to be a lot of guys that used to go do that stuff, and especially a lot of pit crew guys who used to go do that stuff. And it was sort of, a lot of folks just kind of considered it, I don't want to say run of the mill, but they didn't look at it like, man, this is like a really cool opportunity.
Right.
Yeah.
Like it was cool or it was neat, but they didn't go, man, this is really, impressive as an opportunity goes.
Yeah.
And now I think that you've got more and more folks saying, "Hey, listen, I'd like to go do that.
Yeah.
I'd like to be involved." And so it's pretty special, I would say.
Yeah.
But
Be tiring.
very. They say I think you pit about every 30 minutes.
It's like on
Oh,
a
really?
loop.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like 20 to 30 minutes, give or take. It's 24 straight hours. But what people don't know is, and even Jerry has talked about it on the podcast, was you were up like 5 or 6 hours before the race started. So you're up for 30 something hours, and then that's not including like you're kind of packing up some stuff. I think Jacob Race told me he was up for like 42 hours one year when he did.
Yeah, that's
You're
I
kind
think
of just taking little 20-minute naps at a
I
time,
can
and
do it. I did this going cross country 2 years ago. Did it in 44 hours. I can do it.
I think it's one of those things where a lot of those guys they don't really know what they're signing up for when they first start into it,
Yeah.
and then they do it. But I honestly I feel like for pit crew guys, it's a little bit of a rite of passage to a certain group of people who really don't get to do those kinds of things.
Yeah.
I wonder what
Yeah.
kind of money you get paid to do that.
I don't
If
know.
it's a one-time thing.
At least
I
$100,
mean,
I would
compare what
imagine.
we do, and that's like a 3 hour
At
event.
least $100. You're
At
right.
least.
I think you can't miss with that answer, Owen.
Do you think you get like a kid version of a Rolex at least? Like, that'd be
Owen just yawned earlier. I think we're boring the hell out of him.
No,
Are
alcohol
we
makes me
boring you,
tired.
Owen? Do we
What's
need to
that?
drink harder?
Did that apple cider vinegar make you sleepy?
Yeah, it's what I drink before I go to bed every night.
What a grandpa.
Yeah. No, that's all.
The
Like
doctor
sometimes
says
I
this will make
don't.
you poop better.
Yeah,
The
sometimes I
folks,
don't.
the folks at home know that we're over here on the East Coast while you're over there on the westest of West Coast.
we've mentioned it enough, but I mean, you can see it's still bright out for me, but you
That's
can't
what I was
really.
looking at, man. It looks like it's a
6:15 out there.
what's the weather like out there right now?
Today was high of 82, so it's
Oh
probably
my
Dude, it
God.
was
high
like
70s right
90.
now.
And no. It was like 102 here.
It was
Yeah.
insane.
The actual and that's something that I kind of wanted to talk about as far as Indy goes, man. But it literally like it pulled the water out of you up there and in man. It was like the weather and the heat and everything was a huge factor in folks being there.
I
There were guys pit crew wise that were laying on the ground saying, "Hey, you guys seriously, you guys are gonna have to stretch me out after we were breaking down for the race and everything."
Wow.
Like seriously.
There's a
That
few races I think that NASCAR needs to look at moving somehow on the schedule.
Get some missed
weather wise.
fans.
Well, weather-wise, because time of year. Like, I mean, Indy, it's always been in the middle of the summer for some reason. Nashville, this past year, they made it night. You can't really make Indy at night, but I don't really know. Do you move it to like late April? Because Jacob Ray told me the other day when he goes to Indy for Indy 500 stuff, because he works at Penske, that he said in May, like Indianapolis in May actually feels like springtime here.
Hmm.
I mean, that's something like there's got to be a way you got to move some stuff around on the schedule. You can't go to Nashville. What was it, mid June? Unless you do it
Yeah.
at night. And even at night, it's still like 80 degrees. Like,
I mean, it gets hot out here. I'll say that. I mean, last year I think the highest I experienced was 114. Uh, but
What
it's like a dry heat.
it,
there's 114 out in California?
Yeah, it'll get like it'll get really high. It'll peak high, but it kind of maintains
Wow.
80s.
But
bro, I
so you've
mean,
been here on the East Coast though, here in North Carolina.
Yeah.
What do you feel like is comparable in heat from that 114? What would you say that would be
is that
comparable
equivalent
to
to like
here?
95 here?
Yeah, and it's because of humidity reasons. Like there's not a lot of humidity here, so it's dry. So that 114, it's hot and uncomfortable, but like every time I go to North Carolina, especially like last August when I went to Daytona, that's not North Carolina, it's Florida, obviously, but I mean like I was wearing my backpack and like 5 minutes in, I was like, I'm ready to take this thing off. I'm disgusted right now.
Absolutely.
So
Well, I
I that humidity
oh,
will do a lot.
so I jacked the cup race probably 5 6 years ago up in Indy, and I think I lost 7 pounds during that race.
Oh, nice.
And the driver lost 12 pounds during that race.
Yeah, I think I would have some serious issues if I was a pit crew member or even worse as a driver. Or my wife, she's a physician assistant and she notices I get dehydrated super quickly. And I've noticed it more and more as I get older and I'm like, I think I would probably pass out either on pit road or in the car if I ever had
What a
to.
rookie.
So I can tell you this. So so they stopped everybody there at the end. They lost turn one
Yeah.
during the cup race this past weekend. They lost turn one because of rain.
Hmm.
So that's obviously how large that track is. You can have rain on one end and sunshine,
Yeah.
on the other end of pit road or anything else. So they had rain in turn one and actually lost the track. So they brought everybody down pit road. And the driver actually literally said, I'm going to pass out if we don't either get out of the car or have somebody with a fan or an ice pack or water
Yeah.
or something of that nature. And it was a real comment. It was a serious comment. I mean,
Yeah.
it wasn't like a joke. It wasn't an exaggeration. It was I'm literally going to pass out if I
Oof.
don't, get some form of relief here
Yeah.
soon. And one of the guys, actually the rear changer, ran down and ran an ice pack and a fan and some other stuff down
Just
quickly.
put all the ice in his visor and close the
Yeah,
lid.
like I mean, it was rough times. I mean, kid you not. I mean, I know that sounds a little bit crazy, but there were folks who were literally saying, "Hey, you've got to stretch me out, after the race here because I'm cramping up that badly." I was cramping up badly too.
They do they still do temperatures? I don't know if they do it on TV in the cars as they used to. They used to do like heart rates and temperatures in the car to show that part, but I haven't seen it in a minute. I guarantee you TNT didn't do it because they suck. But
I'm surprised Prime didn't do it
yeah,
because of the level of coverage that they had, which was
they
fantastic.
fantastic.
Yeah, but I haven't seen that either. I don't know why they don't do that because
Also
I
on
think
pit
it's
road.
Yeah, I think it's a huge tribute to folks that are out there competing in that level of heat, and it really, exemplifies the athleticism again
Yeah.
that's there. But you don't have media is not covering things like that.
Have you ever gotten close to passing out on pit road?
You you do get close to passing out. I mean, there's some times where you don't feel well, or
I almost
you're
threw up last year in Nashville. Just my
Nice.
body was so overheated.
Have you ever had the moment where you're just exhausted to the point where like your hearing starts to go and like it starts to sound really radio, like a radio?
Like a frequency?
Sure. Yeah.
No, I haven't had that. But like I
I
said
that's what happens to me.
last year after our first or second pit stop, I had to like immediately rip off my helmet because when you're wearing those helmets in your head socket, it's like starts to suffocate you. So you're holding your breath for like 15 seconds.
Yeah.
And when it's 90 plus degrees out and you're holding your breath and doing a bunch of stuff, as in pit stop choreography, it gets to you quick. So
Yeah.
last year after the first or second stop in Nashville for the truck race, I had to immediately rip my head sock off and everything to get like to start oxygenating again.
Mhm.
Because you're immediately like you're going under
Yeah.
in a matter of seconds.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, I would probably have passed out pretty quickly. I'll be
I
honest.
remember about 3 4 years ago, they did a double header in Texas,
Ooh.
and Blake can probably
it was
weigh
the
in on
COVID
this.
year because they had to move everything around. It was in June.
Yeah,
Texas in June.
so they did a truck race and an Xfinity race on a Saturday, and it was probably mid 90s, and I mean there was a breeze blowing. I'll be honest with you, there was a breeze blowing, but it felt like you were inside of an oven and the breeze was blowing, like it was just
Gosh.
like a convection oven. And so what a lot of folks don't understand is your pit crew is responsible for setting up and tearing down of all of your pit stall.
Yeah.
So that goes from anything from the pit box to all of your data to electricity to your signage to the
Everything in that pit
covers to
stall we set up.
sponsor comfort to everything. That's what pit crew is responsible for. So what's wild about that is that a lot of folks don't really understand that that in itself it takes a lot out of you. I mean, it's a lot of hard work in a very quick period of time, and when you do that 4 times in a day and pit at the same time, pit those trucks and cars and everything else at the same time,
You're constantly you have
it's
to pace yourself.
yeah,
That's what I think Chase asked me one time. I said there's a pace, so you don't go out there and exude all your energy during one pit stop or setting up or multiple. You got to learn to pace yourself. You find that line in the sand and you say, okay, this is my balance as a person, and you know where it is every weekend. Once you kind of find it, your body might adapt a little better as the time goes on,
Yeah.
but you got to prepare by like Wednesday, coming like when you start to know, especially summertime, like once end of May hits, like after your Coke 600, you're really starting to look at the weather consistently. When I'm going to the racetrack, at least that's what I do,
Yeah.
is every week you're looking at it and you're saying, all right, I can't like Poppin' Top. I couldn't do a Poppin' Top episode after later than Tuesday during the summer because I'm not trying to have this in my system by no later than like Wednesday. I need to be like hydrating up and
yep.
getting as much water as I can to go into a Friday, Saturday
Electrolytes
race.
and everything else.
So
Yeah.
there's preparation in it, and then there's ice packs, there's cool rags, there's everything you can do to try to take care of yourself. There's fans, but I mean, not every team has the same like type of equipment. Like the 34 truck has different stuff set for us to take care of us. In comparison, like some teams have a lower budget, they don't have the same liberties that teams that have bigger budgets do.
Yep.
Yeah.
So ice packs and just finding shade. I mean, even though you're down there cooking, you're sweating. Sometimes it's okay, like it's not as bad as you think, but there's times where if you can't escape it because your team doesn't have those liberties or options at your disposal, you're toast.
I'm someone that would rather be hot than cold, though. I'll be honest.
Oh, I'm
Yeah.
100% the same way.
Yeah.
100%.
I don't do well in the cold. Like in the heat, I would rather pass out before just like sitting there freezing. I don't do well in the cold. I couldn't do it.
So I'll be the person who's opposite. I'm built more for the cold than I am the
You
heat.
Oh, I
seem
mean,
like you're
you're
built more
huge.
for the
There's so
Yeah.
much body like
Yeah,
mask. Like
I'm more so built for the cold than I am.
I'm so thin skinned.
I'm Jon Snow over here going winter's coming,
Yeah.
kind of thing.
And you're
I'm
excited.
hyped up. I'm hyped up for it,
I
man.
have friends who are like that, but like they just grew up in Michigan too. So there's a bit of like for me, the cold is a sign that my birthday is coming because my birthday is in December. And so it's like that. But yeah, whenever the cold comes around, like I prefer winter clothes over summer clothes. But yeah, I just don't do well. I feel like everything in my body just gets sensitive and
Yep.
like I just feel like I just get random bruises. I wouldn't survive in cold
Feel like a
conditions.
woman.
Honestly,
The
yeah. Like if I ever trained to be a Navy SEAL, like immediately once they put me in cold water, like you know what?
oh no.
I quit.
I'm pretty sure
The
you probably get kicked out before
the
then.
the
They would
wildest
probably
part.
look at me and be like, "Nope, let's not even try this one."
This guy likes apple cider vinegar.
Yeah.
We can't use them.
He's a
It's-
psychopath. We don't need him on
Yeah,
our team.
he's psychotic.
Send him to the
Yeah.
berets.
So the wildest part, I guess, that I would say, as far as from pitting wise, as far as cold is concerned, has probably been, I would say, probably either Martinsville or Bristol.
They
And
need
Martinsville probably takes the cake with
There
the
was a
snow.
race in Texas in 2018, the
Yeah,
same year. I don't know if you were able to go or not, but it was like 71 on a
I
Friday,
remember seeing that. I
and
remember
then the
seeing
next day it was 36
that.
you know,
because we all
NASCAR needs to
showed
go
up
up
and
to
we had to go to
Alaska.
the Tanger. We had to go to the
Yeah.
Tanger Outlets malls across the street from the track. That was the strangest weekend I think I've ever experienced going to racetrack.
That was a huge swing that happened with weather. But I would say, as far as like consistency, in weather, it's probably Martinsville's probably been one of those things because you're so early in the year and then you're so late in the year, and
That
then
one's
they
the one race you never know what you're going to get. It could be
yeah.
cold, it could be hot.
I've been there setting up on a Sunday for a cup race and setting up early in the morning, and it's spitting snow, setting up a pit box.
That's
And
probably the only race. That's
that's
the
why.
only track I think I could think of that consistently has had snow outs, or I think last year on my birthday for the truck race, it was like 35, 36 degrees because Sam was with me.
Yep.
Ew.
And I was like, I don't know if I've ever pitted a race that was this cold because typically once you get down to those temperatures, it's not they're going to cancel the race, but if you start having inclement weather, they end up, if it snows, they cancel. Obviously,
Yep.
they can't, but it was cold enough that it wasn't snowing, but it was cold enough that we could race.
Yep.
Yeah.
So,
Usually that region of
or
the
it wasn't cold enough that it
Yep.
wasn't snowing.
Usually that region of the country at the time of the year that we go racing there, it's if there's any sort of precipitation, it generally tends to be some form of participate or precipitation that freezes.
Mm.
The
And
humidity.
everybody brings up the snowball fights from the stands
That'd be
and
fun.
everything else that happens. But there was I remember a truck race that got canceled there. It's
That was
been
my first year.
it's been back, yeah, it's been back a few years ago that it
I know exactly that weekend because
yeah.
we had to race it Sunday after the cup race
uh, I think I jacked the cup race and the truck race on the same weekend,
in the same
and
day.
I think I literally pit. It was something like 550 laps or something, or like
Nice.
750 laps or something like that. Is what we actually did on one day.
What was
Nice.
the most amount of pit stops you've done in one weekend?
One weekend, I don't know. That's
I know
tough.
my number was 20.
Darlington is probably one of the worst as far as
That's usually 12, give or
yeah,
take.
Cup Series. I think I've done 14 stops during a Cup Series race at Darlington.
Were you pitting when that Indy fiasco happened? The tire failure?
Yeah, I was. I remember all that, but yeah, I would say that as far as on the entire weekend, I'd probably say it was either between that or Darlington, one of the two.
Mm.
Yeah, I remember during COVID, I pitted both truck races, both the Xfinity races because they were making up races, and then we had one cup race. And it was I think I counted it was 20 or 21 stops in 2 days'
Yep.
time.
You pit almost every 20 laps in either one of those two tracks because tire wear was so bad.
Mhm.
Darlington was so bad because of the track itself, and then Indy was that bad because the compound was so bad
Yeah.
that the Goodyear had come out with that They were literally blowing tires left and right, and
Kind of
folks
like
were,
Bristol last year, was it? May, Bristol, whatever.
yeah, kind of sort of like that.
Mm,
I think in all honesty, what they should have done is they should have kept that the red label tire compound that
mm.
they had,
The
and
softer tire.
yeah, they ran that. I think it's in all honesty, they saved a few of the tracks as far as just from the raceability of the track. I think that they should have kept those tires,
Mm.
Yeah,
but it was sort of a test I think that they did. Um, but they got rid of it,
yeah.
pretty quickly. But in all honesty, it actually made some of the races very, very enjoyable to watch.
It does. I was
Yeah.
Everyone was looking forward to Bristol like that again. So,
But
but
man,
yeah,
what a fun episode. Great
very much.
information.
And if we ever need a last minute guest again, we'll just not again, but anytime in the future, Gaddy's just right there.
Maybe after another win, we'll just have you come back over because I asked Lane. Lane couldn't do it, but
Glad I could make the last minute here, guys. I
You
mean,
weren't the
great.
last
no,
minute. I
I
didn't
told
mean
you
to say
last week that you were going to be
that.
on it.
You were first pick today. Lane was, if anything, Lane was last minute. Uh,
Oh man, that's funny.
yeah.
Yeah.
No, we're just gonna start seeing Gaddy wander around in the background. Just, you need me yet?
Dude, you know what I'm gonna do, man? Is I'm just gonna be back here in my underwear, back here in the background,
Yeah.
man, walking
Acting like you
around.
got fuel all over you.
I'm just gonna carry a gas can around in my underwear back
Yeah.
here in the background. It's gonna be great. It's gonna be awesome.
You
You're
need
gonna
a
see me
refill,
stum
Blake?
You're just gonna see me stumbling around, and then I'll show up every 15 minutes, going, "You guys okay? You guys need
Yeah.
anything? You guys need something out of this fuel can right here?"
Sam's just gonna be like, Gaddy, please
Yeah.
leave.
Go home.
I'm just gonna put beer. I'm gonna put beer in the fuel can, and I'm just gonna
Yeah,
refill their glasses every
that'd be
15
really
minutes.
cool. That's
Yeah,
what they should have done with NASCAR Cafe, or else they wouldn't have gone out of business. You
yeah.
remember that, Blake? You just had a
Oh
face like
yeah. Sorry, I'm a little buzzed.
at the top of the hour they would just roar the cars or something like that.
They would rev the cars up on the track.
Yeah, that was
That was
such
a
a
cool
cool racer.
place.
Yeah. Uh, all right. Well, yeah, this was
Heck yeah.
definitely very fun. And be out this week. So
What else? What else you got, man? Any other questions? Anything else I can
I don't have any right now. We should save it for
throw
the
you
next
into?
one though. Huh?
Yeah, man. There's all kinds of stuff. I mean, I think we've all been involved in it long enough to be able
I
to
didn't really start to become a true fan until like, yeah, 2020 probably. I mean, I grew up a NASCAR fan, but yeah, 2020 when I moved out here, NASCAR
uh,
just randomly clicked for me. And yeah, that's when I started to pay attention more. But
I think there's a lot of stuff that they're really trying, and it's not necessarily just the regions that they're going to, but it's a lot of things that they're doing with the cars, a lot of things that they're doing with guys that are there. I
yeah,
mean, they're trying their best to really do this thing. I think for you, San Diego is going to be a massive event for next year.
yeah, I'm
Think
looking
for
forward to it.
West Coast fans, I mean, I think that's going to be huge. I mean, I
Yeah,
I can't say how much I appreciate the military support out of NASCAR. I think that's one thing that they really get right.
yeah,
A lot of folks can say a lot of things about NASCAR, but they really get that right.
they very
And
much do.
yeah, I think that that's pretty doggone cool, man, as far as like being able to support military and doing racing on a military base and
Yeah.
doing that. I think that that's a pretty damn cool opportunity.
Something I was thinking about the other day, I was like, what's the flyover for San Diego going to be like? Because that's an opportunity.
Dude,
It's
that's
gonna be
gonna
a
be
hell of a flyover.
insane, man.
Dude, do what they did in
I think they
Iraq
said
with
they're
that
gonna launch I think they said they're gonna launch a nuclear bomb or two over that thing. It's gonna be crazy.
that's the flyover.
They said something about tomahawk missiles over that track, and they're gonna just launch them out to sea or something. Man. It's gonna be awesome.
That'd be amazing. Hey, this just timed out really well, but we're gonna go nuke a country real quick, but
We're
it's
gonna
just gonna fly over.
listen. The race just happened the same day that we decided to take out, some, country over here that we need to do with a nuke, man.
There was another nuclear missile threat in the country. We don't want them to have it.
We're gonna do the national anthem and a nuclear launch at the same time. It's gonna be great.
Trump's just gonna be there like, yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
he's gonna do the dance, man. It's gonna be all. He's gonna be on an aircraft carrier right off the San Diego coastline, man. It's gonna be good.
See, like we should be on NASCAR's marketing too.
PR wise, man, I think we could do it, man. I
We
don't know if
kill
they
it.
would. I don't know if they'd give us
Got a
the.
liability now.
I don't think they'd give us the launch codes, but I mean, I think we could figure it out. You know.
I mean, I can put in some numbers. I'm pretty good at that. So,
I'm guessing.
yeah. What was the password to the nuclear launch? Because Yitch. It was just Yitch.
Yeah, huge, man. I'm telling
Uh,
you, you're
yeah,
gonna have to. You'll have to create another podcast for politics, man. We can get into that
oh
too. So.
boy, I don't know if I could sustain that one for terribly long. I get burnt out quickly on politics, but no, for San Diego, my wife and I were already going to look at uh like getting hotels, but I'm going to try and see what kind of tickets I can get out of Blake and for Xfinity and trucks, and then see what I
We
got
should
for it.
be if you're there with a media tag on you, I think you'll be fine, man. We can get
Well,
you.
I want to get a media tag. I don't know if 10 Away could support a media tag because I think there's some credentialing, but I
There's
was talking
also
to Blake about Darlington because I thought about going. I don't know if it's going to
dude,
work
he's gonna
anymore.
be in Darlington. He's gonna
I
come to
don't know
the
if it's going to
race,
work.
and hopefully we get a win.
Are you coming this year? You
I
coming
was,
now?
I'm, it's still on the table, but like I don't know if it's going to work for me
I think it's
financially.
what, a little over a month.
Man, I hope you do, man. I haven't seen you since the wedding, so
Yeah.
Come
I
to
had like a,
Darlington. Come get a win with us in the truck series.
man, I'm telling you.
yeah,
I hope we win. We need at least three more wins. So
yeah.
There's
I
only
would
two
love for
more
it all
truck
to
races
plan out.
before the playoffs start.
yeah, true.
It's Watkins Glen. There's something after Bristol, Watkins Glen, Bristol. Then I think it's when the playoff starts is Darlington. It's a little over a month.
I thought Daytona was again. No,
Uh,
but
Daytona's here.
I think
Daytona's
they're
here, and
Xfinity and Cup.
no,
I like
Daytona's here
going to
in August.
Daytona. I want to switch. I've never been to Darlington. That's why I really want to go. But I also like I have a video idea that I would need it to be
You've never
like
been to Darlington?
no, it's my one of my actually probably my top track,
Really?
especially their throwback race weekend is
The racing there, I'll be honest with you, man. The racing there is
It's
fantastic.
best.
It's
that's what whenever I have like a newcomer wanting to watch NASCAR, I invite them to Darlington
yeah,
because to watch
Darlington's definitely a place to go, man.
or Kansas. Kansas is my very close second.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Darlington's definitely a place to go. I would say that from just a track that has bridged the gap from old school to new school and everything in between,
Yeah.
that's a track to go to.
Yeah, I
I,
had some oh, go on.
I was just gonna say I think that's definitely the place to be as far as a racetrack that you could say has been a cornerstone.
Hmm.
Obviously, you look at Charlotte, you look at other places like that have been, sort of a foundational piece, but something that has had a unique touch to it.
Yeah.
I think that Darlington is definitely the place to be.
Yeah, Darlington's honestly might be my favorite track currently. I think the new car race is well at it. I like the history that comes with the week because they just naturally talk about the history. Um, Stuff like that. It makes it great for like a new fan to watch because it's also, man, it's such a driver track too. Like it takes a lot to get that race done as a driver, I feel like. Um,
It's the Southern 500 is a grueling day, and
yeah.
that's we talked about that earlier as far as being able to be, somewhere to perform as far as a pit crew. And like I said, I think the most stops that I remember on a Darlington Southern 500 weekend was about 14 stops.
Mhm.
And I've I've played a lot of football. I've done a lot of things, and that's a grueling weekend.
Do y'all
There's,
feel like the 600? Do y'all feel the time of that more, or is the Southern 500 just more of a intense race, so it feels longer?
I,
The one time I did the 600, I felt like that was a gauntlet.
the 600 is a gauntlet, but I would say this that I think that you have more frequency in a Darlington race than you do a Charlotte race.
Mm, yeah.
I think the Charlotte race is longer, but
Like
I
just
think that
imagine
the
trying to
frequent
do your job with the same amount of pit stops, but for like maybe an extra 30 to
Yep.
45 minutes.
where did this random ass dog come from, bro?
That's Lucy.
Yeah, it's her dinner time, so she's starting to beg.
Ah, she is
Yeah.
cute, too
Yeah.
precious,
Yeah.
beautiful dog.
Go ahead, give a sniff.
Does she have anything to say?
She always has something to say. She gets camera shy though. She'll sit there in the background and make a lot of noise. She barked at a delivery man earlier while we were recording. She's
Does
got
she
nothing.
have? Is that a GPS collar that she has on right there?
No, it's her e-collar, essentially a shock collar. But yeah, she can. We just leave it on. Like after I take her for a walk, I kind of forget to take it off half the time. But
No, she's precious, man. She's beautiful.
yeah,
That's awesome.
she's fun. She's
I've got
two.
a I've got a GPS collar on my Shepherd
I
that I
thought we would
that I
need to
keep
get
on her.
her one, but like it's very different out in LA. There's not a lot of like off leash areas. Granted, like nobody really follows that, but like she's never really like I never just let her roam. I live in an apartment. We went to a dog beach the other week, and she never wanted to leave our side kind of deal. So like I am curious when we move back to North Carolina because it definitely will be in her lifetime unless she gets run over tomorrow. But
Oh, geez, don't say that.
I love being morbid with a dog because my wife hates it. And like, I'm just like, when Lucy dies, she's like, shut up.
Yeah.
But like,
I'm a softie like that too, though, man. I can't say anything any different. I'm just like,
yeah,
man, like I love this damn dog, like a kid. I mean, I
yeah.
just can't do that, kind
No,
of thing.
it was funny before we got Lucy. I was like, oh, because we had a basset hound and that thing wasn't trained very well. And I was like, we're gonna have a dog that listens. It's gonna be trained really well. Like, it's not gonna sleep in the bed, all this stuff. All that's out the window. She is trained. Like she does respond to me, and very well, but like outside of that, like I was like, you know what? Have a fun life. But no, it is funny. Like Lindsay comes from a very dog like loving family, and so do I. But yeah, it is funny how like I'm like, oh yeah, we do treat our dog really above average than a lot of
No,
people
nothing
I
wrong
know.
with that. Nothing wrong
No,
with it.
I am curious though if, when we go back to North Carolina and hopefully have a house and a yard, like what she'll be like around that time.
I think I'm boring Blake over here. He's over here fucking around
Blake,
on his phone.
Blake
No,
clocked out.
sorry.
He's over here playing around on his phone. He's just
Yeah.
like, oh yeah, man, you guys
Well, also Blake
check
hates
out. Let me
dogs.
check
I
out.
take a piss and then I
Let me
keep
get my
going.
Instagram or my
Yeah.
YouTube account, man. Let me
See what those
see what's
TikTok
going on.
followers are like right now.
Yeah, let me figure out how many views the pit stops have got now.
Yeah. See
Let
if
me go in
any.
here and
We're 330 followers away from 100,000.
let me go in here and fluff my hair up real quick. Get the fire burning.
Puts- Let me go stoke the
Well, Poppin'
fire.
Top. This is definitely the longest episode of Poppin' Top we've had,
Yeah,
or
it is.
even 10 away, like an hour and a half.
Yeah.
It was good stuff.
You've got problems.
Yeah. Like, yeah, I don't know if you heard Gaddy the other day, but I was able when Blake did his solo, I was able to do some like audio bits, and I just sat there slowly roasting Blake more and more until the very end. I think I went off.
You should definitely roast him every day when you get the chance, man.
I
Oh,
tried
I'll
to.
roast him back. That's the thing.
It's okay. You guys are brothers. I mean, it's supposed to happen that way.
I don't think he
Yeah,
has thick skin like me.
I
The
have thick
level.
skin. I have thick skin. How dare you? I have way thicker skin than you, Blake. You don't even know how thick my skin can get.
Oh, that's awesome, man.
No, I try to give it back to Blake. There's been years of my life being the younger brother, but that I have a lot of ammo. Not really a lot of ammo. I kind of spent it, but yeah. But yeah, this is definitely the longest one we've ever done. I'm so happy to keep going though. I don't have any more questions though right now.
Man, I'm all up for questions or conversation or anything, dude. We can start delving into all kinds of insane shit. I'm gonna go
You
in
drink
here.
all that?
Not yet. I haven't.
No,
I've got
I
to
might
check.
have to wait till the next one though, because I gotta maybe be somewhere at 7:30.
Where you got to go?
I might be buying like I've downloaded Facebook Marketplace again, and I went on there, immediately found something I need to buy, and I might be
Man,
meeting again.
I've got a really good deal on, like a whole case of
Beer.
hamburger buns. I've got to go pick up, like kind of thing.
No, I went on Facebook
Is that what it
Marketplace.
is?
No, these lenses I've been wanting to buy for my camera for years now are on a great deal, and I need to go get them. I gotta go grab them.
That's awesome,
He
man.
hasn't
That's
responded
hilarious.
though, so I don't know
Let's
if
get
this.
the hell off of here and go get these camera
Yeah.
lenses, guys.
Daddy's got to go get himself some camera
Here, you
lenses.
talk for a second. I gotta pee myself.
I think that's it for 10 or for Poppin' Top.
Yeah, we gotta cut it off here.
Dude, I'm
Say bye, Gaddy.
I'm literally stuck in a fucking seat here in the simulator, bro.
This is gonna be the longest upload it's ever gonna be. Like it usually takes me like 2 hours. This is gonna take like 3 or 4.
This whole thing made me like get stuck in a seat that was built for a 150-pound person. I'm twice that size.
Honestly, you should have seen the old seat. The old seat was even smaller than that.
Really?
Yeah.
All
Oh
right.
man, I'm
Well,
about to watch him pee.
I think we're done, I guess.
Yeah, we're done. It's all good.
Have
That
him
was a
yell
good-
bye.
He says that he can pee and talk at the same time.
Well, tell him to yell bye.
Say
Can
bye,
you hear?
Gaddy. Bye. He's being loud as can be in the toilet.
Yeah. Yeah.
Love you, Owen.
Tell him to do Morse code with his.
Hey, do Morse code. Beep, 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 beep. He says he's gonna pee all over the seat.
All right, I'm gonna just stop it now.